A very special Lale Lule hello to all of you out there listening to the Machine of Nonsense. This is our part 2 of our disc dive, the most cursed episode of this podcast of all time. We'll get in part 2, take 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, the disc dive into Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. I'm your host, Eric. Joined as always by my own personal Otacon, Kayla.
Jack?
Oh no, not Rose. Not Rose. Oh no.
I guess you're riding this time.
The love interest.
Oh no.
Right.
We are not alone on this this disc dive. No.
We're not far enough yet.
Because anytime I need a break, I know someone can vamp for me. And that is Mike.
Queen. I've podcasted twice. I can't podcast a third time.
Oh, that's really good. We worked on this for several weeks, folks. We worked on this for several weeks.
Oh my God.
And we've got him. We don't pay him, but if we did, he'd be worth a fortune. D's with us.
I don't got to get forged. Come on, I got no rail gun.
Our classic line, rail gun. Love it. Oh, but last and certainly not least, he didn't build an atomic bomb at 10, but he's still our FATMAN. It still was.
Oh, I'm depressed. I was going to go for the Solid Snake intro. Kept you waiting.
We did indeed keep you waiting. So this is, as I said, the most cursed episode of all time of this podcast. We've had hurricanes, tornadoes, Windows 11 updates, all of them, all of the natural disasters that one might befall. And at this point, it's becoming to look like the Patriots are just like, they're fucking with this episode, I think. But
I blame Belichick.
Yes, yes, indeed. With Brady though, like the good Patriots, right? Like,
oh, okay.
No. Thanks for sticking with us. If you listened to the first disc dive and you were like, where's the second one? It's a laundry list of reasons why this is so delayed. But thanks for sticking with us. We are gonna go into part 2 of Metal Gear Solid 2. If you remember from way back when on the first episode, we covered the tanker and Solid Snake's death, maybe during that.
We already know.
So part 2 here, we are covering the plant and our introduction to our new protagonist and everything that comes with that. What do you guys think? I'll start off with D, because he wasn't on the cursed episode that was lost to time.
It's the alternate timeline.
Yeah. What was your initial take on playing as Raiden in this section? Kind of getting the rug pulled from under you. New protagonist. And all that. Did that hit back in the day when you played this? When did you first play it, D?
Back when it released, maybe like a month or two after. Because I had to watch my dad play through it, which meant I wasn't really paying attention. I just realized he was playing a different character, and then he finally put it down. And then when I played it, very excited to play Snake, get through, the whole section, and you get to ride, and I'm just going like, who is this whiny loser that I'm playing?
Damn.
Oh, poor Raiden.
Just absolutely no presence. He done got the gravitas that our boy Solid Snake has.
All there
And
is.
just absolutely lacking it.
Virtual boy living in a real world.
And then it was just like, I don't remember if it came out between these two, but I just remember the VR training side game. Played a lot of that. So then when he was saying it, I was like, is this what's going on? Like, my brain was trying to piece together, like, when I was playing the VR trainings, was I right it? Is that what this is trying to tell me? So
you did it again.
yeah, it's just like trying to, because I just couldn't, I couldn't wrap my head around, like, why am I this guy, and why do I feel so not cool? Because I slipped in the seagull poop, so I'm just saying.
Oh, boy, did we. Boy, did we. How about you, Tomas? Like, what was your initial take on the switcheroo?
I was like, who put Raiden in my Metal Gear? I was riding high off of that tanker intro, and then it threw me off a bit. I was like, what am I playing? I was like, this is different. And I think I mentioned on our first recording of this that, like, in all of the promotional shit, it was all Snake, like in the commercials and shit. And then they did the switcheroo on us, and it was like, oh my god! I was like, I'm not Snake. Well, you're Snake for like 2 seconds, and then they change your name.
Yeah, that's such a weird touch of like, yeah, your codename's Snake for like 3 conversations.
But I mean,
Not even.
I started doing cartwheels. He grew on me pretty quick. So. I don't know, man. It was weird. It was different. I mean, it was intentional, obviously. I mean, if you want to get into the Kojima mindset of things, I don't know how deep we want to get into that. I am right.
We will be. We will be getting into that eventually. Mike, were you ready for it? Did you realize that you'd be playing as Raiden in this one?
I had avoided that, for a long time. It's like the Usual Suspects ending, avoiding that or something like that. And I wasn't super disappointed. I remember thinking, like, I'll play as Snake again. At some point I'm gonna switch back. And then, like, at the beginning, you see him, like, glimpse of his his sneaking suit in the elevator, and and then I was like, oh yeah, there's me right there. That's and
there I am.
But that spoiler, that for later, that doesn't happen. We play as Raiden through the remainder, and I think I was just blown away still just by the game and the graphics and the cutscenes and just how cool everything was. And this was like the only game, for me at least, that had a continuing kind of arc to it. You were into Final Fantasies, none of those did, or anything like that.
We didn't have Final Fantasy 10-2 yet.
So, Kayla, for our disc dive on the first Metal Gear Solid, you got your first kind of introduction to the world of Snake and Metal Gear. Going into this one, I don't know how well we did, like Tobas and myself and Mike and stuff, keeping away like from spoilers on what was going to happen. Did you know
I
that
did fine.
there were like
By the way.
dual? Mike always does.
Many conversations in the 12 years that we have been together. There's been a many casting of Metal Gear movies out there. Many conversations. Every year it at least comes up once. And never have we casted Raiden.
Oh shit!
So I did not know who this person was. It was a shocker for me. And especially I thought, oh, okay. It won't be long, but it is, we're riding it like
Riding dirty.
I like Raiden though.
I think Chalamet in a blonde wig. Gonna be a great ride.
He's got
someday.
the physique. I mean, it's like the say he'll fit in that skull suit. I think
He needs to beef up a little bit more to do some cartwheels. I'm just saying.
I
He
mean,
can do it though.
he's still suit, skull suit. It's kind of the same shit.
It's super tight. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Gotta be pretty
Chalamet's just
confident.
everything at this point, right? It's just it's always the pick.
He's
I
around.
don't know if I have tickets for Chalamet.
I got
Oh.
tickets for saying
I'll
his
take your
last
tickets.
name.
I will take all the Chalamet.
Oh no!
Oh God, there's a robot on the call. This is great.
All I know is every time I cook a dish that needs shallots in it, I ask Jackie to pass me the Timothy Chalamets.
Good.
So-
Good gag.
First.
I like it.
I'm gonna buy shallots just to be able to
Be
say
able
that.
to make that joke. You're never gonna cook with them. Just like, hey dear, I'm moving the shallots a little. The Chalamets a little over in the cabinet here because
Gene Shalit, isn't that like an old time
Ooh.
comedian or?
he was
That's
yeah,
like a
I'll
movie
get into
critic.
that.
Gene Shalit.
That's screw cooking. I'm just gonna get like old DVDs.
There you go.
Pass the Shalit DVD. Chalamet.
Oh, man, who would have guessed we would have had a whole shallot,
All
mono.
right, Timothy Chalamet podcast. Let's go.
I love it. I love that.
Wait up.
That
Can we get back on track?
That's good. That's good.
No.
And I love that a snake comes up with that. That's so. That's fucking ideal.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to recreate the original podcast
Yeah.
the best I can, and
Word for word, basically.
had the shallot tangents. I didn't want to get rid of that. Good part of the pot.
Oh, but yeah, I guess we could get back on track. I wrote down here that I love how you get, Kayla always talks about how cinematic like Metal Gear was and how cinematic this game has been so far from what she's seen. And we get 2 opening credits, like how many games do you get 2 like cool ass? We've already seen, Snake infiltrating the tanker and
Terminator
everything else.
2.
Terminator 2's got 2
Can I
credits.
introduce you into Phantom Pain?
Well, sure. Okay, we're not there yet, Mike. We're not there
I
yet.
interest you in unlimited credits.
No. So the opening
though, right?
snake part, Terminator 2 with the lightning,
Sure.
snake suit. This one, you're getting Metal Gear Solid 1 all over again. You're swimming,
Oh yeah.
Colonel Campbell talking to you. Elevator.
Ooh, I liked how you could swim. That was
Than
fun.
the original recording. So, in preparation for okay, we're gonna record it again, and it was cursed. It failed.
Very
We
cursed.
watched. We were like, okay, we're gonna have our coffee, and we're gonna watch all the cutscenes in this section. It was like a good hour long.
Oh yeah.
And you missed nothing. You saw everything. Like the game, the gameplay is just there for pure fun. It's the story is all told in cinematics, and it's interesting.
This is Kojima's medium to give you a 10 to 20 hour movie because nobody's going to sit through that without something like you. That's, I mean, I'm sure we've talked about this a million times on this podcast, but like, that's why I feel like video games do not translate to cinema well, because you can't do it in 2 hours. You know, it's like Borderlands just shit the bed like completely. Like every movie, every
Speaking
adaptation.
of curses.
Castlevania took like 4 seasons to tell a story about a game that was an 8-bit on fucking Nintendo, okay?
I just think
apples and oranges
Kojima's
there,
so stylish, you know. It's a thing he's got.
Yeah,
And he puts such
I
care
remember-
even into the mechanics and into the shading and footprints and etc. that will go forever gaga about. It's just care.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game really is kind of a shiny tech demo wrapped around a movie.
It is.
And I remember in the back in the PS2 days when I was playing this game a lot and just skipping all the cutscenes, I could finish the game in like 40 minutes. I think like
speed run in here.
Tinker and Planter together.
Oh god, I remember like my 5th time playing like the Tinker, as opposed to like the first time I played Tinker, that was like fucking 6 hours when I first got this game. I was like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. We talked about it in the first pod. Like, it took me forever to find that fucking Olga Glukovic fight the
So
first
hard.
time around.
Yeah.
Man, is that normal for people to just play games over and over and over and over again like you guys did?
Definitely did back then. I don't do it anymore, but like, yeah, back
still
then,
do.
hell yeah.
I still do it with re-releases of games that have speed up features. To like, sometimes I need to turn my brain off. Like, The Office is on the TV and I'm like half paying attention to that and I'm grinding in some game. Like, it's just mental kind of decompression for me. I've played it enough.
I was buying my own games at this point, so yeah, I was replaying anything I bought. I spent $50 on the original Dragon Ball Z Budokai. I beat it with every character I unlocked. You know, I did you would scrape games for everything you could. And this one had the dog tag system, which had a separate list of dog tags for every difficulty. So I was trying to complete all of that. Because there were unlocks tied to that.
I give you that. I think I put over 1,500 hours into Disgaea 2 because for the longest time that was the only game I had for my PS2. So
wild. Yeah, this game lends itself though so well to like the replayability if you just want to like explore every nook and cranny of like the plant and just going around and like playing with the physics, you know, like I'm gonna do just pull-up challenges and I'm just gonna like mess with the guards, put them asleep and then run around, pick them up, get their dog tag and let them wake back up and then shoot them in the face again. Like you could do it is a little bit of a playground type game.
Yeah, they got like rankings for how well you complete the game too. Like big boss like mode or whatever. It's like you shoot like 2 people and never get caught. You know, it's like
I never chased those ratings. I would always get like Bat as my code name or Elephant or something.
But they were all there. So
what's like the noisiest animal you can get? Because I think that's whatever me and Kayla are going to end up getting. Because, we go loud quite often. We're going to be codename Hyena, I think. Yeah.
That would be my snake eater run.
So back to the this like second intro. I love how they do it again. They did really good job in the Tanker of setting the stakes, resetting. Okay, it's been 2 years, etc. They do it again. You know, okay, now it's 2 years later. It's very much like The Rock. Like, a SEAL team is landing on the movie, the movie The Rock, I should say.
Yes.
Not Dwayne Johnson. It's got nothing to do with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, as far as I know. But no, the Nicolas Cage vehicle. It's like, oh, a SEAL team is infiltrating this place, and we're, Snake / Raiden is coming in underwater. We're seeing new like kind of a new credit sequence. We're setting the stakes of like, who are the terrorists? Dead Cell. What do they want? How are we gonna take them down? There's hostages, etc. Like, I love that stake setting, and it's all done in like 2 minutes maybe, and it's so sick seeing the helicopters come in at the same time as like Raiden swimming in and whatnot, all in ones, all in like a 2-minute sequence while Campbell's telling you and setting the stakes. It's really badass. The second time I've played through it and watched it, like, hit me harder than the first for some reason.
Really well done.
Knowing.
What'd you say, D?
I said the weight of knowing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, to like kind of parrot the whole opening credits thing. It was really kind of like unsettling too, because it's like, wait, did we do this already? I thought this was just gonna be the continuing the game, and then you do continue it, but it really did kind of just feel like 2 separate games.
Yeah,
it kind of is. There's a huge disconnect between the first part and this much larger section.
Yeah, I love that they kind of like harken back to it. I mean, this is super getting ahead of ourselves, but Mike mentioned, Phantom Pain and everything else. That game with like Ground Zeroes really kind of harkens back in a big way to the 2-parter, right? Like, it's interesting. I haven't put as much thought in a lot of that until doing this disc dive.
Yeah. Oh man, we can don't be bringing up no Phantom Pain or stuff. Like, my mind is already like just I'm slamming on the brakes in my head.
yeah. I shouldn't get Tomas worked up. Sorry, guys.
Like, we're like 15 minutes into this pod.
Oh. So
anyway,
yeah, we got Raiden. He's infiltrating the plant, and
Campbell's a dick.
Yeah, so we get so I said setting the stakes in the intro, but like there's some really, really interesting conversation, all delivered through codec right away, that kind of tells you exactly who Raiden is. Immediately already gets your wheels kind of turning a little bit of like, something's not quite right here, right? And I thought that was great. How much of that did you pick up on, Kayla, as like a first go? Anything like really stand out to you?
Yes. He is just such a little baby. Like, you can tell he's unequipped. You can tell he hasn't done this before. You can tell there's a lot of well, you also see like, well, there was like already a hole cut in here, like, before me. I saw somebody going in the elevator before me. Like, I think somebody else is here. Nah, no, there's not somebody here. And then there's also like people who can't be shot, and vampires, and
jumping the gun,
bombs. I think I'm a little out of my depth here, man.
Never trained for this. This never came up in the VR simulation. Seems to be like Raiden's default answer to a lot of these questions. And then anything that he does ask is immediately deflected by Campbell. Like, Campbell's like, That's not in the mission parameters.
I
So
like at this point that since we are a different person and we're not Snake, we get to see a lot of Snake. We get to he kind of looks badass, you know? You're like, man, he's
Who?
cool. That he knows what's up.
Who?
So that's kind of a
Who?
fun part of it.
Wait, we see Snake?
Pliskin.
I mean, no,
Snakeskin.
that's Pliskin. That's not Snake.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
referring
that's the whole
to
Iroquois.
Lieutenant Senior Grade. What is his fucking wild ass title? Junior Grade Iroquois Pliskin.
Hoorah!
Yeah,
Black
that-
Snake
David
is
Hayter was
a
very
lady
much
whose
inspired by
daddy
Eddie
died
Murphy.
on the tanker. I don't know what's up.
Oh.
I'm like, wait, didn't the other one do that?
Hoorah.
Iroquois.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pliskin.
I didn't see Snake. I saw a guy that was worth shooting.
He's dead. He's a terrorist, Kayla.
Yeah,
Really cool. It's really cool.
he had to go down.
He sunk a tanker, okay, and created a chemical issue in that harbor. That's why Big Shell was built, okay?
It is all like, yeah, so we all know the score pretty early on when we were introduced to Iroquois Pliskin and stuff, but like there is some really interesting, it's like, okay, so we're right away, they're like, Dead Cell, their leader is saying that they're Solid Snake, right? And if we've played the previous game, it's like, okay, we got a Solid Snake, we got a Liquid Snake, but Solid Snake died, but this new Dead Cell leader is saying that they're Solid Snake, but everyone thinks he's dead, but it's 2 years later, but he caused all of this, and it's like already in like 30 minutes, we're like, wait, but we think we saw his ass as well, and then of course Iroquois Pliskin.
Think I know that ass from a mile away.
There's a lot going on in like the first 15 minutes of this part of the game.
It's
Kind of like Laura Croft's bosoms. They're specific.
I like it.
Yeah,
Dummy thick.
Kayla understands.
Yeah.
We're in the guards.
Clap, clap.
Vamp is really cool. Like, yeah, super spooky cutscene with the guards, the
Yeah.
security.
Let's get into
Yeah.
it. Let's get into the hallway of death and why.
Shout out to Phil Lamar.
And Kojima's a master of horror, and I think he knows it, but I don't think the world knows it, and I'll shout it from the rooftops every single time. The Vamp introduction is so good. It just harkens right back to the cyber ninja, the
Ray
cyber
Fox.
ninja. Yeah. And seeing it, going from PS1 to PS2, and like the blood looks more real on the walls, and the dead bodies look more like actual humans, and just all of that. It's such a cool sequence.
Kojima should just make a movie called Spooky Hallway. Like, that's all PT
He
was.
made the game already.
It's like,
he made Spooky Hallway the game.
I know what I said. He needs to make a movie called Spooky Hallway. My boy can make some spooky ass hallways.
Wish we could have recorded me playing PT. We'd have.
Oh my god!
Just a billion
Lost
likes.
to the aether.
A billion.
You would
streams.
still be struggling to open that bathroom door, Eric. You
That's
would
true.
still be
Playing with dead fetus babies, Eric, all day.
we would still be sitting in Tomas's old house
Yes.
waiting.
Love them, but this is still Eric in horror games. I'm like, stop moving, stop running in a circle, and just turn around and shoot them.
Sounds like y'all been having fun with Silent Hill 2 remake.
I love that both of these games. Yeah, I mean, Silent Hill and Metal Gear came out that same year. Like, what a banger
What a
year for
Fucking year.
horror games,
Damn. Yeah, Spooky Hallway.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Mike, thoughts on Vamp?
I think I struggle with this cast of villains a little bit on this replay. Just
So-
there's no Machine Gun Kid on,
Hey, whoa.
compared to Foxhound from the first game. That whole cast of characters is iconic, and this is like the B team, you know,
Kind of.
Yeah, it really feels like a shell.
Hey,
that show.
wait.
Yeah.
This is the B team, but
Big
there's a literal
shell.
B guy in one of these games. So
That's true. But
Spoilers.
no, for real. Gotta wait for the remake.
I don't know. I remember kind of, and I think it's on purpose. Like Raiden's kind of in the dark this whole time. He's just like, wait, what? What's happening? Even the plot of why Dead Cell is doing this keeps changing on Raiden, and I just remember as when I originally played it, like a lot of this is going over my head. I don't really know what any of this is. I just like a cool game right now, and then replaying it, having like the cool codec conversations that you can have with Pliskin, learning more about the characters, actually like getting deep into it. I don't know. Vamp's weird. He's he is he is the lover of Fortune's father. I found out.
Yeah.
Scott Campbell, I believe.
Interesting. Didn't know.
Was in
Didn't catch that.
Yes, and
Deep
was
lore
involved
cut.
in a church bombing as a small child, and had to feed off the blood of his family under the rubble he was trapped in to survive. Why he's known as Vamp.
So
Dude likes to
Everybody
dine on
knows.
the liquid iron. He likes it,
It does.
Probably on a cool factor, the coolest member of Dead Cell for sure.
I love that. Like this is the first time, well, technically the second time, but this is really the new information for me on like Vamp's background. I've just taken it at face value, but I love that I've been able to take it at face value of just like, well, yeah, there's a vampire guy in this game, of course, like it, like.
We fought cyber ninjas, man.
And it's essentially like as in the dark as Raiden is, he is kind of taking it in stride pretty well of like he never says like Campbell, there's a fucking vampire, dude. Like like,
he goes against the grain a lot more than Snake did in Metal Gear Solid 1. Like it took Snake like half the game to start getting a little skeptical on like, all right, Campbell, what the fuck's going on? Raiden's like immediately like, yo, half the shit you're telling me, Campbell, ain't lining up.
Well, I feel like it's more like, so yeah, Raiden's like, oh yeah, this wasn't in the VR training, but it's more like he's like, oh, we should have probably put vampires in the VR training. Why didn't we plan for this? He's like, he's okay that there's a vampire. It's just like he wishes that he would have trained for it,
It is poor management. They know about Vamp. Like, they know that this is who they're sending him to.
Yeah, they're aware of Dead Cell. Dead Cell's creation was literally for that, right? It was like a government agency to prepare like people to deal with like it was like a counterterrorism like measure.
Yeah.
They knew to bring the bitch ass bomb, dude.
I kind of love that. I'm so glad you brought that up, Tomas, because that's one of my favorite things. I think you're right, Mike, in terms of like Dead Cell's so small of a group. I mean, it's really just it's Fortune,
missing two members.
It's Vamp, and it's FATMAN, and like so in the grand scheme of like how many characters we got in the first Metal Gear or how many we'll get later on, Yeah, they're a little underwhelming in some ways, but I love their backstory. I think of their they're like a test terrorist group. They like test government organizations and like responses and stuff by having fake terrorist attacks, but they're actually real terrorist attacks. Like the concept behind that is
Pretty cool.
is really
like
cool. Like,
Got to keep the boys on their toes, you know?
I don't know why you need a vampire to do that necessarily. Like what? Like if FEMA is gonna like be able to plan for vampires in the future, but
The government has plans for zombies. I'm sure they got something for vampires, okay?
you're probably right.
Don't worry, these windows are railgun proof. Like, what?
I
How
mean-
can you prepare for any of these people?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and I love that like they went off the rails and just actually started doing actual terrorism, but I guess still in hopes that it would prepare. Like they were still working for the government. It seemed they were still interested up until this event, but they were still like they just like kept ramping it up. You know, they were like, well, how do we ramp it up? Let's just actually bomb civilians and stuff. And it's like, how better to train for bombing civilians? It's some wild shit.
I mean, emergency response time, you know. That's oh boy, this we didn't quite go into this last time, but it's like makes you think, huh? About your own government.
It kind of does a little bit. Like, do you guys think something like this might exist? You know, is there like a real dead cell? I don't know.
There most certainly is
Real vampire?
like artificial intelligence and like computers and such,
Sure.
and like hacking.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
they
certainly.
definitely do that. They hire people to like fucking test other like companies will do that like on a private level to it's like, all right, test our IT guys, fuck up our system, you know, put them through their paces because
I'll
otherwise,
send Eric to go get his teeth cleaned at one of my offices and tell them to give me a report on what they didn't do.
Uh-oh.
Secret shopper.
Speaking of teeth, you know.
Yeah, secret shoppers, you know, audits. Fucking
I feel like that's a little bit different than like, you know,
Audit.
test bombing, but in the same ballpark, right?
your business has never been
Then
test
audit?
audited by the IRS.
Oh, good stuff. Was it? Oh, I remember being first playing this. So we're introduced to Iroquois Pliskin. Definitely not Snake at all. I remember being a little bit confused at this. Like, I think it all went a little over my head through my first playthrough. Did you guys immediately clock in 2001 or whatever that this was just like Snake in disguise, or what was that like?
Yeah,
for you
disguise.
Yeah,
I was like,
I mean,
that's
like,
fucking Snake. You can't fool me. I'm not
D
riding.
already knew.
Vamp recognizes him.
Yeah, Vamp smelled him. He was like, your blood.
Which I never
found
caught.
him, Queen.
I never caught that moment back then, but now I get it. I'm like, okay. I see.
Yeah,
what
I
Vamp's
definitely.
doing with that.
Isn't it a little odd? Like, wouldn't so Raiden knows who Solid Snake is, but he's never seen him ever.
No.
In a pamphlet or something.
He's in the shadows, bro. He's in the shadow Moses.
Secret spy.
Well, I mean,
Painting Snake to be like the Osama bin Laden level of like hate, like terrorist, and yeah, I think he would have been. His face would have been posted on every CNN news, anything. For sure.
Yeah,
I mean, people knew about Big Boss. Like that was kind of like a big flex.
If it looked anything like the image that they use for Fortune on the screen, then I wouldn't have recognized him either.
all
yeah,
it
I was
takes
gonna
is
say he's
different kind of
he's
hairdo,
definitely
you
like
know?
obscuring his face. Yeah, he's definitely obscuring his face somehow. But like back then, like that PS2, era, it's like it's not like they could just show that he had a different face. So we hear his voice and we're like, "Come on, Raiden! Come on, Raiden! Come on, buddy! Come on, you can do it! You can figure it out! Who are you?"
It's weird that,
Nope.
I mean, couldn't they just solve this whole thing by putting him in a ski mask or something? Like just wear a ski mask the whole time, right? I think he's even wearing a ski mask when we just initially see him, right?
Yeah, there's a reveal.
Yeah, it's an odd take. For
Suspend
old
disbelief, given the universe we're dealing with. I mean, Raiden's already like a self-insert of the player, like how any normal person would react to any of these situations.
The vampire.
What? What? It's like there's vampires.
So D, you chose to shoot Pliskin, right? The only
Yeah,
reasonable choice.
This is literally, like if I have to quantify how many times I've played this game, double digits. So like, I was like, wait a minute, I've never once tried killing him. So I did.
Nice.
Then he killed me. He killed me so good. he just goes, "What are you doing?" And then eventually you make him so angry that he just kills you. So
I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's. See, I didn't think about that until Metal Gear Solid 3, what the time paradox is, and that was because somebody let that one slip. Like, oh yeah, you can, do this to so and so, and it's a game over scenario.
It's pretty good. I love that they've thought of those things. I mean, like obviously we've said it a million times. Like there's a lot of care taken on that.
They have fun with it too. Like it's not just like oh, you've been punished. It's like oh, that's pretty funny.
I one thing that Iroquois says to Raiden early on in their conversation is that Foxhound was disbanded. And I don't think there's any, like, Raiden doesn't really react, to that information. I found that a little interesting on further inspection.
I mean, that's his reality. Why should he believe this random dude who just got done fighting a vampire with him about whether or not Foxhound has been disbanded? To him, he's been through hundreds of VR, I think 300 VR scenarios with this so-called Campbell.
I think Raiden was just locked in a room with a PS1 and said, "You can come out when you get first rank on every VR mission." And it took 2 years, and that's how he never knew, never saw any of the news, never doesn't know nothing. He was cut off from the world for 2 years. So
I mean, it makes sense.
He did it.
He was locked in, man.
That's why he was so skinny.
Yeah.
It's wild that in 300 missions he didn't run into a vampire, right? Like that seems like eventually at like 267 or something they're going to start throwing vampires at you, right? Eventually.
I mean, the big
Well, they were
the big
also
drop.
like a year, it was from when he went in. So they didn't know that they had to create VR missions with vampires in it yet.
I like
That's
it.
true.
Like
they just plugged them into the Matrix so he can learn Kung Fu. But I mean, one of the big VR drops that they talk about is he's run back the Shadow Moses mission multiple times. So, and they do that on purpose because they're trying to, 1-to-1, you got Foxhound.
No, we don't know. No, we don't know, actually. I'm glad I'm here, buddy. We don't know that yet. Shut up.
I talked about it.
D's the Tomas Wrangler. I love it.
We actually have been talking about that. We should talk about some explosives, though. That would be cool.
Hey, whoa!
Before we
Hold
talk
on.
explosives,
Before we talk about that,
I'm talking USP, baby. Okay, what's Mike got? Mike has something too, but I want to talk some USP.
Go.
What do you got, Mike?
I was just gonna bring up that Caleb brought up, the ratio of gameplay to cutscene is skewed, and it's very evident here where we do the full murder death hallway scene, meet Pliskin. All right, finally we get to play. Leave the strut, and we get this sick fortune cutscene immediately. Don't get to really do anything, and but the sweet saxophone makes up for it.
Yeah.
So
I believe I made a comment about the brass in this video game.
Good brass.
Whole lot of brass in this soundtrack.
It's
Kojima gets down to brass tacks. He told him, give me the tacks.
We haven't gotten to the boss fight yet, but my God.
What do you guys like better, the vamp cutscene or the fortune cutscene?
Fortune.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fortune, and yeah, that's totally, Fortune.
Two different vibes.
Second half of Vamp?
Okay.
I think some of that action in the vamp is kind of, the animation is a little stilted. I think the hallway scene on the original is much more effective with just, I think the look of that. The PS1's just scarier to me than anything on the PS2. Just the grime and like, what am I looking?
Yeah.
Is that blood? Kind of feeling.
The quick cut zooms too, like on the PS1 spooky hallway, as we've dubbed it. It's like,
Yeah.
you could say a lot without saying as much, without showing as much.
Right.
And man, just that saxophone and those birds falling from this, like, whatever radiation came from Fortune's weird weapon. Like, she has a weapon that's like the length of a room, and it shoots lightning bullets everywhere. Like, it's just cool. I don't know.
It's a cool character introduction.
Yeah, and I think this game does a little bit better job of, like, the bad guys, the bosses of Foxhound in Metal Gear Solid 1, they all look really cool, and they're introduced really cool in a lot of different ways. But I think getting to see Vamp, like, fast enough to dodge bullets, and then Fortune not being able to be hit by bullets, really kind of sets the stage for, like, how unstoppable these, like, two people are. Like, you're gonna have to fight them at some point, right? They're gonna be bosses, of course they are, but, like, how? Like, what it's even kind of more impressive, at least to me, than, like, Raven in a tank or something, Vulcan in a tank, or Psycho Mantis is cool, and whatnot, but yeah,
but you don't get it fleshed out as much, nor do you get to, like, see it as much, like, beforehand. Like, I think the character introductions are really cool. Like, I still don't know what the fuck a decoy octopus is.
He's Mexican. We found that out in our disc dive.
It took me like 25 years to find out that, I was properly represented in a video game by Hideo Kojima.
Got off screen.
I did find a Mexican restaurant in the Silent Hill 2 remake, so good job, guys. Konami
connected with La Raza,
Love it. Oh boy, yeah. So in short order, we get Vamp taking out SEAL Team Alpha and Fortune taking out SEAL Team Bravo, like they're toys. And we
cartwheels.
And we get two different, like, I love how the action kind of also shows us their psyche. Like, Vamp seems like he's enjoying himself. He's pirouetting, he's sucking blood, it seems like he's having a good time, right? And then Fortune, obviously, is just, like, incredibly sorrowful. Like, she's sad that
Kill
she's killing
me.
the birds. She wanted them to shoot her. You know, she's like, I guess I have to kill you guys. I guess I gotta do this. You know, and it's
kind of
great.
weird. It's like, I'll give you like 5 minutes to kill me. If you can't do it, then sorry, fam, you gotta go. But I want somebody to kill me, so yeah. I mean, most of Dead Cell can probably go into a psych ward, but
I wanted to ask you guys about the USP and in general murdering dudes, because me and Kayla are on a murder run.
United States Postal Service.
Yes, there's the
We can
United
use
States
the full.
Yes. I apologize.
Got it back in.
We're
Got it
not
in.
using its Christian name. But the USP. So me and Kayla have been murking a lot of dudes. How are you guys doing? We literally haven't found the silenced
M9.
the M9 at all yet.
M9 Shyamalan.
Are you guys going stealth run or killing dudes? A little bit of both.
Primarily stealth.
Yeah, I'm not. I shall not kill.
Oh, nice.
This is probably my stealthiest Metal Gear experience. I'm usually just run and gun. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting caught a lot, but then knowing that doorways are like the greatest weapon.
They are.
Like if you just leave the you know, whichever sector you're in, everything's clear, everything's fine. You're good. But if you stick around, you will find that the enemies are well equipped to take you out for sure.
Riot shield, shotguns, fucking the works.
Yeah, in my memory, they didn't get like their extra equipment till like later in the game, but it seems like they get it like right away. They've got the riot shields, they've got the different types of weapons, the shotguns and stuff, like from the first time you notify them. Like,
it's so smart too, because like everywhere you're in Big Shell is such a confined space. Shotgun is like the perfect weapon. You know, it's like you're fucked.
I think it's this game where the game knows. I don't know if it's based on tanker or what. Like if you're known for just headshotting guys, the enemies will have helmets. Later on at some point. It's one of these games. I think it's two.
I think it is this one.
Yeah. So
like later on, they'll be better equipped to whatever you've been doing to them.
Heavier body armor, and you know, if you've been doing body shots and stuff like that.
Reel me in after on this one, D. That's so funny that the game knows that.
Yeah, super weird. So great. Right?
It's almost as if nothing seems real is something I wrote down here. That's right around this time, Raiden finally starts to kind of crack a little bit in a conversation with like Campbell and Rose on the codec, and he mentions like, "Oh yeah, nothing seems real," and
like I'm in a dream.
Yeah, it's pretty. I didn't catch that the first kind of playthrough, but
I don't think anybody did.
It's really good, like sort of like, especially the way it's framed with him, kind of like again having like this sort of out of character so far, like sort of panic attack.
It's really good.
Yeah, he does not hold up as well as Snake. Like pressure and I mean, I got to give it to him. Boy keeps trudging forward, but like as far as like mental capacity to like handling all this shit, like.
But Snake, Pliskin starts making some good points. I don't know a lot. And there's a vampire, and there's a lady who can't be shot. And there's bombs. Lots of bombs.
Didn't get that in the briefing.
And I think there's a trap.
Something's going on.
We haven't even gotten to the greatest Metal Gear villain of all time, Peter Stillman.
Peter Stillman.
Yeah.
This old chestnut.
Just to stick on the Raiden thing a little longer.
Do
I
it.
want to give Kojima credit for another thing. And like Snake is like 80s machismo
Big time.
kind of acting guy.
It's JoJo.
And I think Kojima has predicted a lot of things, and I think he's predicted the personality of Gen Z with Raiden. Because yeah, I don't know if I implanted any of my kids into this kind of, they'd be like the same way. They'd be like, "Wait, what? I got to do that? Oh, that I've never done that. I can't. I just can't, Mom." You know, it would. Camel, like
This vampire's nothing like Vampire Survivors. What the fuck?
yeah, the president would be in trouble.
Oh, that's so good.
So what you're telling me is everyone would be like Eric's first playthrough of Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like, oh, I played Uncharted. I know how to.
I wish my
You don't
mom was
climb
there to
this
help me with
way.
that fucking game.
You don't know shit about grip
Did not
controls. You damn Zennials.
Daniels.
I'm the oldest one here. You guys show me some respect, okay? Oh.
Whatever, boomer. You're just as bad. You don't know tech.
Oh gosh.
Don't make me call
made our way
them.
into
Grandpa.
We've made our way into the cafeteria
Hmm.
where we meet the still man.
Emporium.
The ultimate
Still, man.
boomer, if you will. Boomer.
Ooh.
Boomer, I did it. I did it.
Ooh.
So many
bombs.
ways.
His
Yeah, right.
bombs. And he's old. Yeah,
Flowers.
he's well.
There they are.
Yeah,
Flowers.
yeah, we're here.
Levels.
We're gonna
So
stop
many
this
levels.
episode here because it can't get better. It really can't get better than where we are right now. Kayla, a couple thoughts on Peter Stillman. It's pretty good.
Short and to the point. All right.
So we're introduced to Peter Stillman, who is the mentor of FATMAN, the last member of Dead
Yeah.
Cell, the Mad Bomber, the
we
Emperor
know
of Explosives, as he is known. And we get the skinny on FATMAN, if you will.
Oh my god.
He built an atom bomb at age 10. So he's doing that, and we get
How did he get the uranium?
he built everything except for that. He just shoved a slice of yellow cake in there, D.
yeah, all you got to do is yellow cake, and he's like, okay, we go to Van Dil's, you know.
You got it. Fucking take it out the
Yeah.
oven, drop it.
Oh, it's good stuff. But we get so Peter Stillman kind of sets the stage for like who FATMAN is, and also a couple. There's some interesting things that he lets on is like the a skinny engineer came along, and we get a little cutscene of an interesting looking gentleman who's a skinny engineer who came along with them, and we start this whole overarching kind of like C4 bomb disposal minigame in which once again the ultimate Gen Zer Raiden says, I don't know how to do this. How do I do the bombs?
Do it for me, Pliskin.
You know who should have done it?
Yeah, he's
You know who
He's
should
not
have done
happy
it?
about
the
this.
person who like
Here
knows
we
about
go.
bombs and was like, it's not a trap.
Yeah, he's the
Like, I was
reverse.
taking a fucking injury.
It's pretty good. What do you guys think of the bomb disposal mission? I feel like it's such a cool way to get you out like throughout the layout of the big shell.
it's awesome.
It's just a cool little
Makes
the
you
spray.
makes you find all the nerds so you have a full map.
It's
All
fun.
the nerds.
Oh, we
Every
didn't even
single
talk
nerd.
about did you say nerd? Yeah, so dumb.
All right. I said it in the first recording, but I gotta say it again. Upon entering the big shell, you can notice the C4 on the
Mm.
submarine when you're coming in. So, good attention to detail.
It's a great.
If Raiden just would have splashed it with a little water or something, maybe would have saved us like a whole 30 minutes. But
Cool it down.
oh well.
Can we talk about like how apparently all bomb disposable or bomb people, I guess? How do you even get into this line of like just, like this is he built an atom bomb at 8 years old. Stillman taught him everything he knew. Like apparently it's like you're building a bomb at 8. You're not a sociopath. I'll train you. Like, what is the line of logic from point A to point B? Like, every bomb technician has a signature. He puts his perfume on the bombs. It's like, what? Like, what?
You watch Seven a lot, and then you just kind of take the want ads and find, we're looking for a bomb guy, and that's it.
Well, you see, father was a fireworks artist, and his mother was an arson.
I want to bring up something I found completely randomly, something that the algorithm found for me on Facebook today.
You mean the Lolly Lule?
Maybe, and I don't even know if this is fake or not. So you guys might have to keep me honest here. But I see this post, and it shows Snake in a cardboard box, and it says, when you begin the bomb disposal mission, instead of going to the bathroom bomb, head to the CD connecting bridge, and you can catch Snake before he goes to Shell 2. Is that legit? Can you, like, run into Snake in this game?
Who?
I don't know. Huh.
I've never tried. I always thought that, urban legends.
It makes sense, because in 3 definitely has a moment like that, where you can like do something that you shouldn't be able to. But
exactly what Mike's talking about.
It would make sense for this. Like, I guess I've never done that.
Yeah,
wow.
it says you could even. It says
makes me want to replay.
You could also try shooting the box and calling Pliskin for some fun. The screenshot looks legit that I'm looking at, but I was like, this is next level. I've never even heard this on the playground, like this is some shit.
Wow.
So
you could do some shit in these games.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought
there
that
is
was
a line of like, oh, somebody hiding under a box, right?
Yeah, so when you run into Olga Gerlukovich, she mentions like I saw someone hiding under a box. You won't believe this or something else. And who's she talking to on the phone? Is that a spoiler? Because I don't know who she's talking to.
I think it's just grunt number 4.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because they mentioned like, oh, I've run into that also, or something like that, or I've seen that technique used before, or something. And I was like, oh, is it?
Yeah.
Like,
it didn't sound like Vamp.
No, it didn't.
No,
it didn't sound like any voice that like I knew off the top of my head. So
must be the skinny engineer. Must be.
It could be.
Could be another entity.
We get,
It could be.
During the bomb disposal, we get a call from Deep Throat / Mr. X, and just
don't give it to you.
It's so great that like Kayla and I decided to watch X-Files at the same time as play this game because yeah, it's great. It's such a good little nod there.
Yeah,
Duke Duchovny.
For the real heads.
Can we talk just a sidebar, Eric and Kayla?
No, we can't do that ever.
You've been playing it too. Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Some of those cut scenes. James, side profile, kind of looks like a young Fox Mulder.
With blonde ass hair.
Yeah.
I'll have to look again. I'll have to see. Maybe. I'm seeing Fox Mulder everywhere, honestly, nowadays.
Same here.
So
everywhere I go.
I see him.
Mike, you might
Another-
even see Fox Mulder soon.
Sketching.
Ooh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Another point for my generational divide.
Mhm.
When Mr. X calls in the original, Snake goes, "Oh, from the Watergate scandal,"
Yes.
and Raiden's initial instinct is from the Shadow Moses incident.
That's pretty good.
So just another like thing of like, this is a different world. This is not Metal Gear Solid 1. This is a different generation for sure.
It's supposed to be though.
Yeah.
I
It's done
think.
so well though. I like that they thought of that, you know, to like cuz yeah, it honestly it would be almost like it would almost make sense for Raiden to have the exact same line, right? To say from the Watergate, but I like that they chose to say from Shadow Moses. Like it's
Raiden is the next generation of soldier. You know, because before, like Snake, he had been doing this
Snake's
for a minute.
experience.
Yeah, Snake had been doing this for a minute. You know, he had the original Metal Gear, he had Metal Gear 2, and then he
He's
had
often
Metal Gear
like
Solid.
Rogue. People think
Snake's
he's dead.
Revenge.
He's a wanted
Snake's
man.
Revenge. But like, yeah. So Snake had been doing this for a minute.
So we alluded to it, or I alluded to it, and I have it written down here as Stillman is a fraud. So
Big fraud.
we learned that
Take it back.
Our good guy, our buddy Stillman, who's been masquerading for years now as a victim, an amputee, was not injured in the bomb that went off at the church, and instead has just been kind of doing the old stolen valor thing. Kayla, take me back to that moment where that happened, because you sitting next to me was palpable anger.
Oh my god.
It's just one of those things where if you make a mistake, you own up to it. It's fine. Let's work through it. Like, you can only get better by acknowledging those things and committing to that for so long and making so many people do so much stuff is just shame. Shame on you, man.
Yeah.
Go jump off this bitch.
Can
You know,
we make another? Can we make another?
I'm gonna zag.
generational?
I'm gonna zag here.
Okay, all right. Stillman was right.
That's a huge like mistake. That's a boo boo to make, to have children die, children's blood on your hands. Okay. Now I want to put myself in our character champion George Costanza's shoes, and I think Stillman did the same. And you gotta fake losing a leg. You have to. You have to get some sort of sympathy back on your side.
You gotta push down old ladies while escaping fires at a children's birthday party.
Look,
I don't know.
Life would be over. Life would be over. It would fucking suck.
Yes. Yeah.
Look, it's part of the fucking job. You know, you win some, you lose some, you fucking get over the hump. All right. So it's like Stillman's gonna be an asshole for 30 plus years about this one fuck up.
And continue to teach.
And I'm gonna pull from Mike the generational gap thing. That's a generation before Snake. Never learned how to go to fucking therapy and deal with the goddamn problems like a goddamn adult.
Damn straight.
I mean, that's a list you can't just go door to door and make people sign that, like when you move to the neighborhood. That's a whole different game. And like you are a one of one on that list of people.
Woman worse than a sexual predator.
Had a handicap license plate. The man walked around with a limp and a cane for the rest of his life.
In
Long
front of you.
Long con. I respect
most
it.
of the rest of his life, because then he started running, and then so right under Stillman is a fraud, I have Stillman is dead. So so
Look,
in his defense, I guess he was still living when he was limping. As soon as he stopped limping, he stopped living. So
yeah,
To be fair,
his only defense. The shame, the bomb was a metaphor for his shame.
holy shit.
There's no turning back from what he did.
Went off.
Holy shit.
Should have stayed hiding in that bathroom.
This is
Should
yep.
have done it.
the real Fantasio's happening right here,
Yeah.
folks.
Should have stayed a
The
still
deepest
man.
philosophical conversation we've ever had on this podcast.
So we lose our dear Peter Stillman in the most choreographed trap in Metal Gear history, potentially.
He's got my number.
He did.
Yeah, as we're defusing the bomb, Stillman's like, something's up. These aren't on any structural.
Yeah, this ain't gonna blow shit up.
Yeah, this is the lodestone of the planter is not where these bombs are. So
Woo, boy.
But it just you just press on and you keep defusing the bombs because it's really fun.
Yeah.
To figure out where these bombs are.
He doesn't figure it out, and then the second you do the last one, he's like, "No, wait, I figured it out." Whoops.
He probably wasn't qualified to do it.
Definitely
but
wasn't
he wrote
qualified
that
to do it.
bitch.
I mean, the evidence
Because
is there.
they literally, I think Raiden says, like, what if it's a trap? It's not a trap.
Everyone.
At the church.
He's the opposite of Admiral Akbar. He's like, it's not a trap. It's never
not
a trap.
Run in head first.
Go around. Trigger
Oh
all these.
man, we may have topped our first Phantom recording of this one.
I think we were all waiting for the Stillman portion of this re-record.
So we
A lot of
oh gosh, we lose our dear Stillman, and then we get to
hold on.
Yeah.
Before we lose him, he's the first person who points out that Pliskin, there's something going on with Pliskin.
Good call.
Because he gives them a like a UK Air Force quote, and
Yeah,
then
he who dares wins is like the SAS.
He who dares wins, and then he hits him with an oorah,
Yeah.
and
Says
it's
Semper
like, all right,
Fi,
Semper
too.
Fi, yeah.
or it's like Semper Pi, and so he's like, that man is not a SEAL.
Yeah, because Navy SEALs can never say any slogan aside from
Nope.
Navy SEAL slogans. That's it.
Nope,
Like,
nope.
Not on mission. Maybe when they're off duty.
I love that. That's the real he's saying slogans that aren't associated with the Navy. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
The Navy would never.
The Navy would never. Yeah.
Don't even know Navy. You fucking. What do they say? You joined the Navy.
He's not even singing that the fucking Village People song. What is going on here?
Even at Niage.
Oh. Onto the Fortune fight. I've got it in quotation marks here.
Yeah, it's a big quotation marks.
Yeah.
First yell dead cell drop in the game. You get your introduction to one of my favorite songs in the series. It's just fucking pure chaos.
So good. That's a cool sequence. Man. Like, I did you guys attempt to shoot Fortune or just like run around, try to hide? How did you go about that little sequence?
First time,
I tried to get for hugs.
Every subsequent playthrough, I think that I've done of this game, I just do like cartwheels between box stacks.
Mm-hmm.
So just to kind of draw fire, but
I could not stop from getting lit on fire. I just constantly, somehow, the fire would find me, you know? Those damn
Okay.
oil barrels.
Crouch,
You're
lay
okay.
down. Enjoy your fire.
Yeah, this time around, I tried to give her some hugs. You know, I knew how sad she was.
That's true.
You tried to, like, run up on her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You need all that fire to light the cigs. That
You think you'd be able to close the distance really easy? She's not very fast, but man, I was wrong.
She moves around quite well with that gigantic gun, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
yes,
literally-
Fortune is a giant.
She's pretty big.
Yeah, she is Zoya the Destroyer in real life.
Oh, yeah.
She is an Overwatch character.
Oh, okay.
I love that
Big lady.
her leotard is, like, Navy branded. It's got, like, a U.S.
Yeah.
Navy logo on it. So that's an
Yeah.
officially licensed product of the U.S.
Hey.
Navy.
She's
She
got a
donates.
government
She
job.
donates.
Oh, it's pretty good.
But this fight was meant to be more of a traditional boss fight, but just kind of got cut down due to timing, I believe. So it's kind of just another tech demo where you get to, watch all the cool explosions and the
All the
lights
shit
fall.
blow up. Fire.
The gas spreads out of the barrels realistically, and it's just neat.
Pretty cool.
Really
It's
is.
just sit and look at this interactive cutscene.
That's what it is, man.
So I'm gonna ask again, and if it's a spoiler, then don't actually answer. But she has this line where she says, "You've seen the fires of hell." Now, does she know something about Raiden/Jack, or does she think he's Snake in that moment? Like, what is that line?
Good question. Given further down the pipeline, we know who's kind of running the show. I don't know. I feel like
I think it's just
I missed
supposed
that
to-
one.
Yeah, I think that one's just supposed to cue us on to, like, why is there, like, specifically that's a very, like, oh, I recognize you type of line. And it is supposed to, like, cue us up to, oh, is this mistaken identity, or does she actually know Jack?
Right. Yeah. It's a super interesting line that I had to write down and because it can kind
She
of
recognizes him from the VR lobby.
Oh, Fires of Hell
I
is
recognize-
VR mission like 297, right?
Yeah,
200.
I recognize your player tag. I recognize your player tag. Solid
What do you
Snake
think
2.
Raiden's player tag is?
Riding Dirty, I think. 69. Yeah.
69 420.
Yeah.
He just plays.
Yeah.
Wait, what's
Dog
his
Lover 420 or
what-
something.
what's his not wife's name? Rose.
Rose.
It's not wife.
Yeah. Rose's BF 242 or something. I don't know, some numbers behind that.
It's pretty
It's what is it? I can't remember this date, Rose.
Yeah. So much.
She
so
is
many
ham
ways.
boning him a lot.
Interesting
Like, just
stuff
fucking
there.
tell
That
him.
is interesting stuff that I.
Yeah.
She's okay. I'll let you go. Bye.
It's like, just think about it. Yeah. Passive aggressive much, Rose? Come on.
Yeah. Get back to the most important mission of your life and everyone's life, possibly. You know?
Yeah. Sorry, you're getting shot by a railgun right now. I'll let you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Before we're introduced back to Pliskin/Snake,
Pliskin.
and he's kind of like his codec conversations are awesome. They're sick. But before that, it is so rough to talk to Campbell and Rose. Campbell is just so short with you.
Yeah,
Get
he
there,
is.
right, and do it. And Rose
Stop
just
asking
babbles,
questions.
babbles. And it's so rough. It made me miss like Naomi and Mei Ling and Otacon and the whole gang. But
The whole gang.
But
Gang.
we finally get a cool Raiden moment. I think the first cool moment is in the cutscene following the fight where Vamp shows up, and Raiden just he doesn't hesitate like he does earlier with his first encounter with Vamp, and he jumps out and he takes a shot. And now in the first recording, Eric brought up that he actually wasn't shooting at Vamp. he was so we lose a couple of cool points, but he at least tried and tries to shoot Fortune. Fortune ricochets the bullet and it hits Vamp square in the head, square in the forehead. Still pretty neat. Good on you, Raiden.
Yeah, man. But like I said, he got a lot of questions. He's given a lot of pushback, a lot more than Snake did in the Shadow Moses incident. And he's a lot whinier. He's like, "What the fuck is going on?" But my boy trudges. Like he pushes through the big tunnel of bullshit that he's been thrown into.
And in some ways, it's a little even more impressive because, like, at that point, Snake, in the events of Metal Gear Solid, like, Snake's been through it before. Like,
yeah.
he's been in the shit, and Raiden has not. We know that Raiden has not. So him like kind of brushing off vampires and people who can't be shot and stuff like that is kind of impressive, actually, a little bit.
Shaman in a tank, no biggie.
Yeah,
chuck grenades,
right?
Fucking cyborg ninjas who are into BDSM all day.
When Vamp goes down and obviously like Fortune loses it, she's like distraught and everything. Raiden like sneaks up behind and puts his gun to the back of Fortune's head and doesn't pull the trigger. It's a kind of an odd scene. He like I guess feels bad for her or something. I don't know why he wouldn't try to take her out in that.
It would just be a healthy skepticism that he's developed through experience. Every time I shoot at this girl, bullets go away,
Is it going to come back at him, maybe, he thinks?
Yeah, I just shot at her
maybe it was even her
influence.
Raiden's a bitch. Nah, don't want to run.
Bye, cool points.
And there they go.
Yep. He held on to him for as long as he could.
A bitch can have a couple cool points. I ain't saying like he's in the hole. He needs like he needs like Dave and Buster's win a switch level cool points to get out. Like he needs 300,000 cool points.
My God, what a deficit!
Maybe he gets maybe.
I thought it was more of her influence, like more of her luck and her fortune is to that. You would influence him to maybe feel that way, like, and take control, and he's like, oh, fuck, I want to do it, but I just can't.
You guys we have the conversation with Campbell before the fight that, hey, FATMAN wants to see you personally.
Yeah.
I believe that's the case. So maybe Raiden's just like, all right, I've seen enough weird shit. Back to task.
Yeah. Some of it's definitely that, because he's also on a time limit. Like you are on a time limit at here. Like you have to go and defuse. Like I think FATMAN says it's like the biggest bomb or whatever. You have to go and defuse, and then it ends up being this tiny little like C4 in the middle of the upstairs.
Well, no, he's hanging on to the biggest bomb.
Well, we're not there yet.
But yes.
Yeah, so Vamp goes down, Fortune's sad, and Raiden beats it, but I mean he leaves. He leaves, folks. He leaves.
And
he was in that VR room a long time. You know what's up.
Gross.
And then Mike wakes up and then he says, I've already podcasted once.
Yeah, we get to see Vamp. Like, did you guys think Vamp was gonna die there? Do you remember back with the first time?
I knew that motherfucker wasn't dead.
Yeah, okay.
I thought he was dead.
I'm guessing I thought he was gone, but
She thought he was dead. She convinced me.
It's done well. It
I
seems like he's dead.
couldn't tell if she was sad or not based on her facial animations. Were not clear enough to me. They were just pug fugly. They were rough.
Oh no.
Very.
Look, man.
Yeah.
The game was good for its time.
It's an old game. It's a very old game. But Vamp
Let's
gets
not-
back up, says he cannot die a second time because he's already died. Pretty cool. Pretty awesome scene overall.
It's all hopped up on serum.
Yeah, it's another little twist on another callback. Otacon crying over Sniper Wolf's body.
Yeah.
We even get a rush over here and get this thing moment, like when we're trying to get the sniper rifle to save Meryl.
Yeah.
It just it keeps going. Time is a flat circle
It
with
rhymes.
this dude.
Oh my god.
Man.
We're all rusting coal over here.
Yeah.
And then we get our Fatman fight.
Man, sipping Merlot with a bendy straw.
Kayla, your first thoughts of seeing our boy Fatman?
Blade and skate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, skitching, baby.
Fucking sketch,
This
sketching
guy
pot
is
smolder.
on fucking blades. Guy is on rollerblades. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Only in the Kojima verse. Again, I will
Okay.
repeat. I am a complete Metal Gear 2 stan. Not Metal Gear Solid 2 stan, although I do love this game. But like one of Kojima's favorite bosses is called the Running Man. It's literally just a former Olympian marathon runner who turned over his powers to evil for Big Boss. And
Yeah.
He
Couldn't
likes
defuse
weird-
the bomb, so he just helped out in other ways.
Yeah.
Kojima likes weird bad guys.
Loves them.
I love him.
I've learned that.
This is a cool
I learned-
fight. It's unlike any of the other kind of fights because you have your boss that you're fighting, but then you have all the you have these bombs that he keeps planting, and you're having to juggle and spin plates.
My God,
And
it just makes me feel like real life.
yeah. Like, the laundry. Oh no!
gotta go to work. Oh my God, my work
I
clothes are
forgot there's
washed.
a bomb in the attic.
There's a bomb. Who put the bomb in the dishwasher, Mike?
Classic Mike. Yeah, I think it's so before you even get into the actual, meat of the fight, there's a really cool back and forth between, or at least a really interesting back and forth between Fatman and Raiden. It's more of the same of like Raiden being told one thing and everyone saying like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like Fatman doesn't know anything about the ransom at all. Which is like the primary reason we're told that the terrorists, that Dead Cell is doing this whole thing.
Right.
So it's kind of a huge revelation right there that Raiden also brushes off. But
not necessarily. Yeah. There's still like they got a thin veil at this one. It's like because Campbell's like maybe he went rogue, or he's like Fatman's so crazy that he's just left to his own devices.
Yeah.
So, Campbell gets sassy as shit, and
oh my God, Campbell's such a dick. Like I think you mentioned this in the last recording, Mike, that like Pliskin's like the daddy you want. Campbell is like Campbell is like, man, he's just rough. He's abrasive. He's like, shut up, do it.
Right, stay on mission.
I don't have to explain to you why you should do it. And and then
maybe ask Pliskin what he thinks.
Yeah, why don't you?
He literally gets like so passive aggressive.
That you love him so much.
I'm gonna go move in with Pliskin, my real dad.
Yeah.
Pliskin took me out for ice cream after baseball.
Good Good,
Yeah.
good fight though. It's really like it's another one of those. I feel like it's a callback to the Raven fight, the Vulcan Raven fight, from the from Metal Gear Solid, in the sense that it has the same kind of like corridors a little bit that you can use for cover. He can use for cover. He's setting the bombs. It's the same in the sense that I dropped a lot of C4 or claymores on the boss. That's how I got him. I'm a claymore guy. How did you guys go about taking out FATMAN? How about you, D?
Shoot him in the head. Dave?
What?
What was your strategy for FATMAN, our buddy FATMAN?
Oh, I didn't know you were starting with me. I mean, my strategy was mostly die. It's kind of like my thing. Me and explosive. It's usually mostly die until I'm like, oh wait, he's got him on him. I could just shoot him.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could like shoot him to knock him over.
Trip him up.
Yeah. I always punch. I always like knock him down that way, and then shoot him in the head. But I watched a playthrough where they shot him in the chest, and I was like, oh, that's a lot easier. That is a lot easier.
Oh boy, Zoom.
But is it as fun though?
It seems more effective. I don't know about fun, but it seems. Like
I had a blast. Because if you can aim while running, similar to the first game.
Yes.
And if you just keep up with him, he doesn't know what to do. He's like running away from you because he won't plant bombs unless he's out of screen.
Yep.
So he's just constantly skating, and I'm just chasing him, and it was great. And if you can pow 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 pow. You give him like 4, he's down. As he's getting up, the bullets only take a little bit of health out of him because he's wearing all this armor.
Yeah.
But if you get him with the M9 in the head, it takes out like a quarter of his,
God. It
takes out like a quarter of his like second gauge, his stamina gauge. And if you just do that, like rinse and repeat, and the fight's over.
Mike's patented chubby chaser method is
hell yeah. Chubby checker, baby. Let's do the twist.
It's pretty good. So as
the old trank and spank.
Trank and I think Tomas got the trank and spank.
The trank and spank is real good.
Old Cosby.
Give it me in a dream.
Oh,
This
so
wasn't the VR trainings.
whether you chubby chase or trank and spank, eventually FATMAN goes down, and we get his little monologue about him dying, and he says this, his famous line, his laugh and grow fat line, and D, you weren't here for my my crazy theory on this line, his laugh and grow fat line. So I'm gonna educate you a little bit about this. I think it's another super deep piece of writing by Kojima and the boys. I don't think FATMAN's actually fat. I think that FATMAN, it's a code name. Obviously, it's a nickname.
Yeah, it's the name of the bomb.
It's the name of the bomb, and he's just named after the bomb. And even more so, Stillman earlier in a conversation, he says when they were all in like school together, when FATMAN was in school, the other schoolmates thought he like was getting preferential treatment, and they called him the Fat Cat. So I feel like it's just a nickname that has stuck with him, and laugh and grow fat is supposed to be like a reference to the fact that he's carrying this giant bomb on him, because that's the thing, you have to like move him, and that's where the final bomb is, and it's this giant bomb. So all of his girth is actually been the bomb this whole time, possibly his whole life. Am I crazy, D?
You think he was the bomb the whole time?
I think he's the bomb the whole time, because
he
never laughs. He's not a jovial guy. He's really angry. So laugh and grow fat. It's like a fuck you, right? Like it's in.
He's done some research
I'm
on
deep
this.
down the rabbit hole with this, and I need your approval, D. I need it.
Some vindication here.
Maybe he actually does resent everything about his alias, and it's really just kind of like a go fat yourself. You know what I mean?
Go fat yourself. I like it.
Go fat yourself. I think he's just a sociopath.
It's like the leg thing. He just has to keep it up. He's gotta.
Oh my god.
He is the emperor of detonation devotees. If the devotees found out he's not actually fat, like that could ruin everything.
It just goes further. This is great. This is right. Oh, I love it. That's it. That's where we decided we were going to stop at the end of the FATMAN. So that ostensibly is the end of part 2. Do we have any final thoughts about where we are, how fucked Raiden is, anything else before I get to some house cleaning?
That's it.
I mean, I think Ryan's doing all right. He's still got a little bit of the veneers peeling for him on this mission. Just a little bit of layers. I think you can write this one off as FATMAN just went rogue because he's nuts. He's a bomb guy. So there's still that that veil of like, oh, it's like, okay. It's like,
once he find out that Dead Cell has a mummy, then he's gonna be like,
I saw you hugging that mummy.
Pretty good. Oh, okay. So that is our disc dive part 2 on Metal Gear Solid 2. And we're not oh, there's my alarm. Oh boy.
Ooh, nice. Wake up.
Yeah, I gotta get up. So we're not taking any chances, and I think we should wrap this all up in part 3. So let's go ahead to the end.
Like a 4-hour pod.
It'll be as long as it needs to be. We're gonna wrap it up the rest of the game. So if you're following along with us, if you've waited this whole time and you're just like, man, I really want them to get over with part 2 so I can continue playing Metal Gear Solid 2. The next and final disc dive on Metal Gear Solid 2 will be from FATMAN's demise to the end of the game. So
I think Eric highly underestimates how much I can talk about the end of this video game.
If we need to have a special bonus episode that wraps it all up, then we can do that. I kind of love that idea, actually. But,
you'll have to stick around for the whole thing, Tomas. Possibly we will release it in 2 parts, friends.
Right. Definitely.
Like, you guys will sign off. I'll just keep talking. Conspiracy.
I'm committed. Call me crazy, but...
Speaking of conspiracy theories.
Oh, boy.
Government's creating hurricanes.
Definitely the Lale Lule Low.
They ain't doing shit about them.
Saboteur.
I think I made a post on our general post, which was between the conspiracy theories and the political climate in this state. I hope this hurricane just kills me. So
that's how good things are in Florida, folks. That's
my God.
Oh, and on that note, let's wrap up the disc dive part 2 on Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Thank you for listening. This is you're probably watching this on YouTube. If you're not, it's available in video format on YouTube. Go ahead and leave a comment there. If you're listening it as a podcast on Spotify or another podcast app, like, subscribe, do all those things, tell a friend. Thank you for listening. Hit us up, machineofnonsense@gmail.com. Give us all your theories. Give me the vindication that I'm right about FATMAN.
Oh my gosh.
Let me know. Let me know if you feel like if I'm right there. All right. That's it for Mike, for Kayla, for Fatman, for Tomas, for Fortune, for D, and for Vamp. I was your host, Eric. We're getting out of here. We're saying goodbye.
Later. Semper Fi.
Ooh,
There it is.
All right. Good stuff.
These stealing valor.
Guys, the recording, it's recorded. It's great. I see it. It's good.
Lock it in.
It's locked in.
Back it up. Email it to all of us.
Oh, gosh. It's good stuff.
They